to Garden House Knits. We are a brand new makers podcast. If you love yarn and you love knitting and you love hand stitching and you love beads, I think you've landed in the right place. We were just blown away by the reception that we got from you guys in episode one. I have to tell you, um, when we talked about doing the drawing, we talked about maybe like handwriting out like the 20 or 30 folks that liked and subscribed. We've got a new plan. I think that I said in the first podcast that we were going to do a drawing. Um, we're going to do it after this episode. So there will be a drawing from the first episode, and there will be a drawing from this episode. And we will be sending some of our new stationery products your way. So I just wanted to take a minute to express how absolutely moved and excited that I was at all of your comments. And I'm really, really excited to be doing this. And knitting and making is my soul. It is absolutely who I am. And as a former yarn store owner that's not really wanting to open a second yarn store, I felt like this was the perfect way that I could reach out and share some of the things that I love teaching and new patterns, new yarns. And I could not be happier. I could not be happier to be here today and have some funny stories to share with you. We've got some really exciting things coming up in the next few podcasts. Um, so, with that said, I did share in the first episode that every single podcast we're going to do something old, something new, something borrowed, and something that leaves me blue. I have two this episode, and we always have things that just don't turn out exactly the way we had hoped that they would turn out. And I think that that's important to share those things as well, because we're all just human. We're all absolutely just human. And some things we rock it out of the park, and some things we just want to scrap it or rip it. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with what I have on. It is Eve's Ribs. The designer is Carol Sunday. So actually, this is a little funny. This is my something old, and it actually is something borrowed. We had a knit group that met really pretty regularly before COVID hit, and then COVID seemed to change everything for so many of us, and our knitting group just changed a little bit. But we used to knit almost every single Friday, and it was so fun because we would come together and we would do exactly what I'm going to be doing right here. We would share new patterns and new yarn projects as they came to fruition, and just, family life, all of it. So two of the gals that were our regular knitters came in one day, and they said, we have found this fabulous new designer. Her name is Carol Sunday. And so all of us like got on our little devices and we're looking up Carol Sunday. And I have to admit, I bought 3 patterns that day. And shortly after that, I bought 2 more. This is the only one that I have completed. But you know what? It's just one of those things we was talking in the first episode about how we forget about these great older patterns that we run across that come back around. And another one of Carol Sunday's, I'll pop it up, that I'm getting ready to get on my needles is Nancy's Vest. And my friend Terry made Nancy's Vest. And maybe we'll get Terry to model her Nancy's vest, or at least drag it out for us in a future episode. So this this was made out of Berroco Ultra Alpaca, and I'll put down in the show notes. Um, it's a wool and alpaca blend, and I love this little bolero. It has the coolest shape. It's just so flattering. I thought about maybe um, putting in a button because it does look a little better on me, kind of cinched in the front. Um, but I love it. And when I'm walking Ella out in the neighborhood, I flip the sleeves down, and they keep my hands all cozy and warm. Um, this is just a great pattern. I did have like one little catch where I got a little confused. Um, didn't see anything in Ravelry that addressed what I got stuck on. So I took a minute and I emailed Carol Sunday, and within a couple hours, she emailed me back with an answer, and it got me right through the sticky point, and it just kind of flew off my needles. It's a worsted weight, and I can't recommend it enough. So I hope you'll check it out. And so this is one of my something olds. One more. So I had a yarn line at Close Knit. It was, the company name was ZAOL, and they are no longer in business, but they had a yarn brand, like a yarn available. And I ordered it, I think, in every color. And when we were at market, two of the colors looked absolutely beautiful. But when they came in, I was like, oh my goodness, what was I thinking? And I thought to myself, what in the world? I mean, what was I thinking when I ordered those two colors? So when I closed Close Knit, I held on to those two colors thinking, maybe I'll over dye the yarn. And I do have a good friend that owns a dye studio in Charlotte, and she said that she would help me if I chose to do that. Thank you, Debbie. But when I was with my friend Glenda like a year and a half ago, she had marled two yarns, an orange with a fuchsia pink. And I have to tell you, I have to pop a picture of this hat in, because I truly believe that this hat should live with me. That's what I really believe, because it is the cutest hat. I'll put in the show notes what the hat was that she made. I have intended to make it for myself, and I have not gotten it done, but it's in the queue. But Leslie Friend, last spring, around this time last year, she had a great knit along. It was called the Dart Along, and she did it with Bobolaris and Caidree. And I've got a black and white copy that I'll pop up a color of. But this is it's the Dart Along, the Dartmoor Sweater. So I saw Bobolaris in hers, and she did a short sleeve version. And when I saw hers, I almost lost my mind. I thought, I have got to make that sweater. So I always go to stash first, generally. So with that said, I went to my stash, and we'll explore the closet on one episode. We're not doing it today, but I fell in love with this little sweater that everybody was making. Most people made the long sleeve version, but I really fell in love with Bobolaris and how she did hers. So Um, this is where you cast on, not giving anything else away. But I went into my stash with my idea in the back of my brain, remembering Glenda and her fabulous marled hat that was, those crazy colors. And I thought, how in the world can I change that ugly green to something glorious that I'm going to want to wear? So I pulled out all my mohair and I pulled out my favorite, 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 favorite yarn ever. It's ZAOL, ZAOL Toki 80 in the ugly, ugly green that made me insane that I ordered it. And I started marling. I started swatching and seeing what I could marl with that green. And guys, I hit it out of the park. This is my dart along. Tell, it almost became a gray, but you can see the purple halo. Um, and I had just a tiny bit of this purple that is from the Fiber Studio Yarns to Die For in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's my local yarn store. I worked for Debbie for several years, and I had purchased just a tiny bit of this. I made some gloves, but guys, you I told you how I started. I'm not telling anymore. But when I did the neck, I think that you do that. That's one of the last things that you do. Um, but I used that purple to bind off. And I did not, because of the brushed mohair, I did not do the bind off that they suggested. I just did a regular bind off because it was really hard to see with this brush mohair. So I did the lazy thing and I just bound it off. I think it's absolutely beautiful. At the bottom, I did a split hem. It's longer in the back than in the front. And I put a little rosebud on the side. And so when I finished it, it was kind of dull. And I put it on and tried to wear it a couple times with, different things. And I thought, God, it's just so dull and boring. And even though I loved the marled color and the pop of purple at the collar and the edge, it just needed a little bit something else. So I dug out that yarn and I love beads. I love beads so much. And I love DMC thread. And so what I did is one Saturday afternoon, I put on a great movie. Who knows what it was? Or I binge watched something on Netflix. I put in some little safety pins to mark um, different places. And guys, I just had a little embroidery party. And I love the sweater. I absolutely love it. 100%. Total win-win. I wear it all the time. I actually wear it with this blue shirt. I didn't put it on first today because I get so wrinkly when I wear it. But I am able to like really dress it down with this like split shirt. It mimics the same split on the side of the sweater. And I have a really, really pretty green t-shirt dress that I'm able to throw it on top of. And I just love it. So at the end of the video, I may pop in. I bought some mohair, or actually, I think the mohair was gifted to me by Glenda for my birthday. And it is a navy and purple Studio Mohair from Fiber Studio Yarns to Die For, and I am going to make a pair of Leslie Friends toast. Um, I'll pop that in. They are just wrist mitts, and I made a pair in January, and I think I wore them almost every single day because I absolutely love the patterns. Super simple. So I think I'm going to pack this for my trip to Nashville and take my t-shirt dress, and surely nobody will call me out at a yarn festival if I'm wearing all the knits. So um, I just love it. I could not love it more. The yarn I had had for maybe 14 years in my stash and never thought that I would knit anything with it, and marling the color. It just like it brought the yarn to life. And now I have a sweater that I absolutely adore. I get a ton of compliments. And if you've never done embroidery on knits, I would suggest maybe doing a couple little sachets as gifts with like a garter edge and just stockinette in the center of the little sachet. Uh, I think that's a great way to start and practice. That would be my recommendation, but I had a ball. And again, I just let myself play and tried not to take it too seriously. And I just love what I came up with. It's a really, really beautiful sweater that I enjoy wearing a lot. I did not finish the sleeves off. They kind of roll in. So it's just the cutest sweater. So that was my number two, something old, though I didn't knit it a long time ago. The yarn was old. So anyway, that was a win-win. And so this yarn, the Berroco Ultra Alpaca, does pill a tiny bit. And all of us have those sweaters that do a little bit of the pilling. And so I'm going to move on to one of my something news, and it is a device that I found on the Instagram. I have to tell you, don't we all order those things on Instagram and they come in the mail and you think to yourself, what was I thinking? That does not look anything like what it looked like on the video on Instagram. And I've had more. I ordered a dog bed that was supposed to be large. And Tom, we have a picture. I'll try to dig out that picture someday for you guys. Tom was able to put it on his head. It looked like a Russian hat. It was it was the craziest thing. But this is a gleaner. And I ordered it fully expecting to be disappointed. And I have to tell you, I have been on a gleaning jag since I ordered this bad boy off of Instagram. It's called Pop, I think it's pronounced Popchose, Popchose. It comes with 5 different heads, and I just can't say enough about how it works. And I've had it a couple months and used it. The only negative thing is it came in a cute little bag. It has 5 different removable heads for different types of lint removal or, pill removal. But it didn't come with like the dock charger. So you have to charge it to use it. And that was a little disappointing, but that's okay. That's okay. It works great. Can't recommend it enough. It's relatively brand new to me. And I do have a little tiny handheld wooden one that Glenda got me. And I always carry it when I travel. But for everyday home use, I'm really happy that I ordered this. And I think that it was definitely a good buy. So that was another something new. Okay, this is a funny story. I ordered from twice sheared sheep this gauge check. I am such a lazy swatcher. I I hate swatching. I do it, but I don't like to do it. And I saw this on Instagram and thought, that looks really interesting. So I got on Instagram and I ordered it. It was not expensive at all. Um, Within a week, I got it. It had scratches, it looked like all over it. And I was so disappointed. I mean, it looked like it had maybe even like a little chip on the side. And in the next couple days, I got a really sweet email from Twice Sheared Sheep, and they were like, "We're just checking in. How did you like your product? We hope you love it, and we'd like your feedback." And so I very kindly, but you know, I did respond, and I said, "I think mine is like it got scratched, and it's like, it's supposed to be clear that you can." I'll hold it closer in just a sec. They emailed me back, and the lady at Twice Sheared Sheep, she was so kind in the email because she could have said, "Dear lady, use your brain." She said, "It has a little plastic coating that you peel off." And as soon as I did that, it's beautiful, and it's so clear. It was so it's I've used it. It's so easy to use, and it's really clear, and it's clear, and so I highly recommend this quick gauge from Twice Sheared Sheep. I'll put in the show notes, but I think it's been great for me, and God, I hate doing swatches. Does everybody else like hate trying to get that gauge? But as a knitter, we all know that we need this in our bag of tricks, because we know we do. We need it. So that was my number two new. So Tom and I just got back from a trip to the North Carolina mountains, and we had been up to Asheville. We love Asheville. So Asheville is here, and we are so used to going to Boone and Blowing Rock and West Jefferson up here and Deep Gap. Our son and his sweet significant other, Maddie, they live in Asheville, and they were hit by Hurricane Helene. I don't know. I guess most of you guys know the North Carolina mountains were just ravaged by this hurricane that rolled through last autumn. And it was really terrible. And the cleanup, Tom and I just got back from a trip. We spent days riding around, and we traveled roads that we love a lot, and some were completely closed. We couldn't get through. The devastation is still unimaginable, but I have to say, the spirit of the people in these communities, and how seeing the devastation and how everything is coming back, it was very moving. It was a moving trip, because we love the North Carolina mountains, and we love to ride, and so that's what we did on this vacation. We took days and we just went down all our favorite roads, and we kind of had a plan. And so day one of our trip, when we got to Banner Elk, we put online episode one for you guys. And so it was great. Tom had a beer, and I got a couple mimosas, and we toasted, and we posted, and we just sat back in wonder at all of the beautiful comments, and just everything that I got. It just blew me away, and I'm more excited right now than I was before I started, because everything that I wanted this podcast to be, I felt like it came to fruition after episode one. I just love to connect with people. I love to share ideas. I love to think outside of the box. And I was so touched and moved by all of the comments. So, day one, we posted the episode. That night, Tom said to me, well, I have something that we're going to do tomorrow. And I said, okay. And he is a great trip planner. So we travel a lot. And Tom Balky is the trip planner extraordinaire. And almost to the point that when I travel alone, like I'm getting ready to fly to Nashville, I'm a little nervous because he just takes care of everything on trips. And so he said to me, I have planned a trip to a farm and they have baby lambs and tons of animals, and you are going to get to hold baby lambs. Well, when my mom worked at the bank, when I was little, I stayed on my great grandparents' farm during the day, after school, and in the summer. And so I love the animals so much. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm absolutely an animal fanatic. I love animals. And so at first I thought, well, okay, now we're going to do this podcast and he's going to create. He has always been, even before we open close net, he has been obsessive. Since I learned to knit, about everywhere we go, we have to find the yarn store. Not me, but Tom finds the yarn stores. And so I said, okay, that sounds great. So at 9 o'clock in the morning, it took us like an hour to get there. And generally on vacation, I'm not a morning person, but I rallied and we got to Deep Gap and this beautiful, sweet farm owned by this amazing family. It's called Land of Milk and Honey. I'm going to put up how you can find them. It was the most well organized. It for a farm, you can tell that they rescue animals. They do buy animals as well, but a lot of their animals are rescues. And I apologize, my allergies are terrible. So last episode it was snowing. 2 days ago it was 72 degrees, and today it's cold and raining. So my allergies are going. My whole I don't. It's like I can't quite. I don't want to take too much Allegra or anything like that. So I'm trying to power through. So excuse me if I'm a little bit sniffly. So we landed this farm. They had you sign waivers. They have a lot of rules, which they are. They absolutely are about the care of these animals, and even the adult sheep that we interacted with, because they were with the mothers were in with the babies. Um, it was the most amazing experience, and we never had sheep on the farm. We did have we had cows, and we had calves, and we had chickens on the farm. We got a pony once. They bought me a pony, and the pony was a mean pony, so the pony had to go home. It had to go back because it was a mean pony, and so the pony didn't get to stay. But I was very, and we had cats and dogs, and but visiting this farm, they do have an Airbnb at this farm, and you can feed and interact with the miniature donkeys. They had sheep. I'm trying to think. They had pigs, they had ducks, geese, chickens, Great Pyrenees. alpaca, cows. There was one cow that was imminent to give birth, but one of the little lambs was born early in the morning, the day that we arrived, and I mean, here I thought to myself, he has lost his mind, and we ended up having the best time. It was just wonderful. Tom did lamb cuddles too, and it was just we left. I did not want to leave. I did not want to leave. She gave us a little bit of extra time, and at the very end of the podcast, I tacked on a video of me feeding one of their rescued baby lambs that they had a friend or a family in Deep Gap that lost their house to fire. And so they took this baby lamb in. And I was lucky enough when I told her that I had done it in the past with calves when I was very little. She allowed me to feed this baby lamb. And you can see I'm weeping. I'm absolutely weeping in the video. It was a very, very special experience. I paint baby sheep all the time. Um, and to be able to hold the baby sheep and the level of care that this family provides for these animals, there were strict rules, as there should be, but it made it just very memorable and wonderful experience. And gosh, I mean, some of you are from places where sheep are so common, and we have them here in North Carolina and Virginia, um, but I've never interacted, and so it was spot on for me. So next on the agenda, the day before we had gone to Blowing Rock, and I had gotten this really cool dress. I'll drop a picture in of it somewhere. I think it's downstairs. Oh, no, I can grab it right quick. Hold on just a sec. I'm going to grab it so you can see it because it's so awesome. So I have to be honest, I have not been shopping a lot. All of my friends are very into like sustainability and buying used. And so I have to say, I don't shop as much as I used to. I still love clothes. I love clothes and I love yarn and I love sweaters and I love shoes. I love shoes and I love jewelry. I make most all of my jewelry. Um, I love beads. But we went to Blowing Rock the day before the lamb cuddles and I bought this crazy fun dress. That's the sleeve. And then here it kind of comes down, and the bottom has this beautiful kind of motif on the bottom. And I was thinking to myself, I think I'm going to take this on my trip with the girls. Um, but I thought to myself, I'm probably going to need something to wear over it. And while we were in Blowing Rock, we stopped by the Blowing Rock yarn store, and there was a sign on the door and it said closed. We've moved to West Jefferson, which was one town over from where the lamb cuddles were. So on the agenda, Tom said, let's go to West Jefferson. We'll get some lunch. We'll go to the yarn store and kind of tool around because we love all the shops there. So we stopped and had lunch at this little diner, and they had a vegetable soup that was so good. It tasted like my grandmommy McCall had made it. It was just the best simple lunch. And then we went to the yarn store. And I know I told you guys that I'm not obsessed with Noro, but I have to say, I think I kind of am right now because we went to a trunk show in January. We were on a road trip and we stopped in a shop that was having a Noro trunk show. And I have to tell you guys, standing in all of that Noro, we carried Noro, you forget the fantastic colors that Noro comes up with and the color combinations and how it's spun together. I know that is what put me on this crazy Noro jag. But so I have a little bit more Noro to share in this episode. I promise next episode, other than what I'm getting ready to show you though, I will not share Noro next episode. So I had this dress in the car. We went to the yarn store. On the way, Tom is a creative driver. So either I am knitting in the car or I'm looking at patterns in the car, or I can read in the car, but I am always doing something so that I'm not squealing, shrieking, and screaming. Okay, so we're on the way to the yarn store, and I ran across this pattern by La Bien Amie. I think it's relatively new. I don't think it's brand new, but I had not seen it. And guys, I flipped. I thought to myself, I thought that crazy retro dress and this cool retro Le Triangle granny. I thought, wow, that's what I'll get at the yarn store because I love to buy my yarn on trips. Um, I love Debbie's Yarn and I love Black Mountain Yarn Shop. Um, love, love, love. But a lot of times we buy yarn on vacation because I always tag the memory of where we were and what we were doing and who we met and what the feel of the shop was. So I took my dress into the yarn store with my pattern that I found on my phone on the way from Lamb Cuddles to the yarn store. And I met this precious girl. The shop name is Unwound, and they are in West Jefferson, North Carolina. And so we arrived. There was a table of ladies knitting, and they all greeted us when we came in. And Tom went and sat in a comfy chair and just started looking at the news. And this really cute girl, her name is Mo Pearl, Mopurl. She was a delight. We pulled out my dress. I didn't know that I was going to pick Nora, but I started thinking to myself when I saw this pattern, I thought, holy cow, that is a lot of ends right there, man. So in my mind, I'm already thinking, what kind of yarn can I get that maybe I don't have to change with every row or two, and I can still get that really cool effect? And so I found two Noros to go with my dress. And oh my goodness, guys, I love what I picked. And I bought a crochet hook because I did not have the right size. The two yarns, one is called Sonata, Sonata. I'll put it all in the show notes. It's a little bit lighter weight than the second. I cast on with this heavier one. It leans more towards maybe like a light worsted, and this one maybe, I don't know. Anyway, it's a little bit lighter. I cast on with the heavier one. It's called Tasogar. Tesugar? I'm not sure. But that was this. And I cast on with this. And what I'm going to do is alternate the two. And guys, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I don't have a lot done, but whatever I have done, I'm wearing it. I'm going to wear it at some point on my little vacay this weekend because I think it is just the cutest thing ever. It's going to be huge. I mean, you saw how big Amy's was, Amy. so cute. And I know I'm going to have to do another one this spring out of spring colors. And I probably will break down and do all different colors, just like they did in the pattern. I'm gonna check my stash, but really, really cute pattern. And if you are a basic crocheter at all, I've done the granny squares and I can do flowers. I had no problem, and I'm not proficient. I am basic. But what I am doing is on that lighter yarn when I get to this, um, I'm using a lighter, looser kind of hooking. So, and I have to say, guys, I think it's turning out incredible. Um, Another something new pattern, Le Triangle Granny. And I do look like a little granny. So, but I'm hoping to be a cool granny. I'm not a granny yet, but I have to show it to you because I think I'm alternating and I'm just letting the Noro do all the work for me. And I think it's just going to be really, really pretty. And I cannot, and it's going so fast. I did have, so now I'm going to move into something a little bit blue. I'm not a proficient crocheter. Noro yarn, I don't know if you guys have knit with Noro, but if you pull on it too hard, it splits. So when I cast on and started, at some point along this upper edge, I kind of stretched on it to kind of see if I could get there. I am going to do an edge around it. I think I'm going to use a mohair to do the edging. But I pulled, and when I did, it popped. And all of the stitches just kind of like, it was a mess. But I got it back. It's a little hinky dinky wonky donkey right there. But you know what? When I get that crocheted edge on there, I'm not going to worry about it because nobody's going to be eyeballing that crocheted edge too closely, and I think it's going to be fine. But that did make me a little bit sad. So that was so now we've got our olds, covered our news, new yarn, new pattern, new gadgets, watery eyes. Now, old, new, borrowed was this from the girls knit day that told me about Carol Sunday, and the Instagram that told me about Bobby and me. Another something borrowed are these lanyards that I saw down in Charleston. I don't even know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And I took pictures of these cute lanyards that if we are going to do a class on how to make these, but you can, this isn't going to do exactly right now with what I have on, but you can wrap it around your neck and pull it forward and drape it over, or you can just like, hold on, let me get it, or you can just fold it over. So there is one that I posted at the beginning. That was for my best friend Melissa. She got hers this week on her birthday, and this is for her daughter Victoria. But I just think that they are the cutest things ever. And so we plan to in April do a class on how to make these lanyards, and we'll kind of drop the classes in between podcasts so that nobody has to, if you're not interested, you don't have to watch. But that was another something borrowed, saw it and thought, how can I do that? And it is so simple. It's just the simplest thing to do. So there's that. I did want to take a minute and report back on three things. The compito, the Noro compito that I had told you guys that I kind of winged it. I'm going to try to write the pattern down, but it may be a while because I've got two big trips coming up. And basically, I cast on like 120 on that one and increase at the beginning of every row. And I made sure that if I did a yarn over, it was a couple in from the ends. And um, and then I just, when I did my play rows, if I did ribs, I made sure that the count was in sync with that row. So I'm going to try to write it up, but it may take me a hot minute because I've got a lot for you guys in the works. And, but I do promise a couple of you asked for more information on that. And, I don't know. I'll just offer it if I get it written for you. I'll just offer it free because I think there are great patterns by Casapinka out there. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Casapinka, but she has a lot of those type patterns where you just alternate stitches, which is so fun too because then you're not really bored with what you're doing. But this little scarfy thing, it's a spas tricot. It is called Spring Thing, and I made it for a friend and made it at the beach, washed it at the beach, let it dry on the line. It was so cool to see it, blowing in the breeze. I did wash it again because I'm getting ready to mail it. But it's such a cute pattern. I've done two, and it takes a minute to get it situated, but I just think it's really sweet, and I really hope she likes it. You can wear it all different ways, long, short, but this is another colorway in that compito that I was so about in the last episode. So this is another example. I love when I washed it, how soft the tassels. The other tassels that I did on the other yarn, um, they didn't kind of bloom out, and I do love that about this little project. So I wanted to share one other scarfy thing because I had it on at the lamb farm. It is um, it is La Petite Parisienne, and it is a spas tricot. I wear it all the time. It goes under my coat. Um, it's so easy to put on. You can wear it, you know, it's so, it's just so easy. The yarn is Studio Mohair from Yarns to Die For. And I had an odd little orange left over from a project. And so I just buzzed around the edge of it when I finished it and created that little pop of color. Um, so soft, not scratchy. Wear it lots of different ways. Fits under my coat. Can wear it with a t-shirt if it's not, if it's not warm outside, but it's not. It's a great pattern. So highly recommend that pattern. All right, one more report back, and that's it. Here's the vest. It's in the works, man. All right, so I did the straps in the car with Tom driving because I've already told you about Tom's driving. Um, I know that the straps look super long, but I want to make sure that I clear under my arm. Um, I don't want it up into my armpit. I want it to kind of lay just below. And so I did I'm going to try to write this up when I finish it. But it's just got simple knit stitches, and then I did a tutu cable. And now I am contemplating, I have just a little bit left. So what I think I'm going to do is 3 sets of ties on the side and leave the side a little bit open. And I'm either going to do like a seed stitch tie or a garter stitch tie, but I think I'm leaning towards an I-cord. So couldn't love it more. I hope my sister is so jealous that she wants to steal it when she sees it. I don't think she will. But anyway, there it is. I don't think I'm going to have it done in time to take to Nashville, but I think it'll be really cute this spring, and I really love it. And I have more beads to do another lanyard. The little navy one looks really cute with it. And so there is that. It's really sweet. Really love it. And so glad that we decided to do it. One more report back, another something blue. I'm going to pop up a picture. I love my macro sweater. Love it. The designer is the lady that introduced me to Casa de Opio, the button gal that I absolutely adore. But this lady is from Iceland. I'm going to put in the show notes her name. I cannot pronounce it, but this is the macro sweater. I got mine started. And if you look in the pictures, you can see on the vertical, you can see where I wrapped the stitches, there was a ridge. So I ripped out 4 inches and decided to remove one of the colors. I did not like the mauvey pink with the bright colors, so I took it out, and I love it so much more. And I'm also breaking my rule because my rule is not to carry more than like 5 stitches. But on this, I'm going to do it. I'm going to just let it ride. And so I'm a little bit sad, but this is going to be my vacation knit. And I'll let you know how it goes. But I was very blue to have to pull that mohair back. It was a sad day. I went to my friend Joe's and I ended up giving her the mauve mohair, and I'm just moving on. Ripped it out, took the mauve away, and I love it so much more. So I have another pattern that I'll show next episode, that as soon as I get this one done, I know I'm going to move on to another one of her sweaters. I absolutely love her aesthetic, and I think that I think they're great patterns. I have one last share. I know this has been long, but I found the book that my mom used when she taught herself to knit at the bank, and I had to show you because I love it so much. I love it. So it was Emily Post, Knitting, Crocheting, and Embroidery. It is copyright 1963. My mother bought this before I was born. You can tell that she added her married name after she wrote. No, yeah, this was her maiden name, and then when she married my dad, she um, added McCall, and I love that I have it. So I had to share this with you guys. Her birthday is in 2 days, so I'm hoping to get her on here at some point. I don't know. She loves to have her picture taken, but I think she's really nervous about being on camera, and so we'll see. But I just want to thank everyone again. I just cannot tell you how joyful and light in heart I feel. I know this was long. This was a long episode, and the next one may be a little bit lengthy too, because I'll be with the girls at I always get it mixed up. It's Modern Daily Knitting. And I think I always say Modern Knitting Daily. But anyway, it's in Nashville this weekend, and I have not been on a girls' trip except just Glenda and I to Rhinebeck year before last since COVID. So I'm kind of a little bit nervous, not about being with the girls because I know they'll be great, and I'm really excited about that part, but just the traveling part, it seems I don't know, but I'll report back on the trip. I appreciate you all so much. If you want to enter the drawing from this episode in the comments, leave happy birthday, mom. And I'll share all of those with my mom for her birthday. Thank you so much for tuning in. I again apologize for my allergies, and I can't wait to see you next episode. So take care. Have a great day. Bye.
I'll do it first and then let you portray first. Oh, do we have it? No, I'm more.